time, once Erin's all
Yeah.
set.
Right.
Also, I finally got an
Let me
excuse
get
to
Haku
wear
a new
this.
treat while I start this.
I noticed.
Well,
I was
Erin
like,
gets
"Is that your
started, I will get
family
Haku a treat.
name,
There we go.
Mother? The pretty thing.
Wait, why?
So
Oh, right,
pretty.
not in the right spot because of things. Oh, Guild was in the right spot. Sorry, Guild.
Oh no! I see how it is.
There you go.
I hacked up. I hacked up.
That's
I've
what I was
been-
forgetting.
Unhack it! Unhack it!
I'm gonna
I've been, I'd say slowly, but really quite quickly collecting, because I actually didn't own any Ghibli movies. I watched a lot of them, multiple times for some of them, but I didn't own them. But they, I guess, fairly recently started releasing, they haven't released all of them yet, like these really nice steelbook
They're so pretty!
Blu-rays.
They're
So I
so
just
pretty, I
started
love them!
collecting the ones that were not like $30 or more, and so now I have several.
They're very pretty. I
Yeah.
almost bought Spirited Away at work, but I restrained myself because I knew if I bought it, I would want all of them.
Yeah,
I need to watch Spirited Away again. It's been so long.
So good.
Movie night!
We have to watch that one
Yes.
still.
I vote we have a movie night.
I'm
Yep.
all for this
Ooh.
for a group
Yes.
Ghibli movie night. That'd be
Hell
great.
yeah.
I have 5 of the steelbooks and a 6th on the way. So Kristen, your assumption was correct. If you bought one, you would want all of them.
I knew this.
But I also didn't own any of the Ghibli movies, so I was like, I don't have a problem with buying a bunch of them.
It's probably a good thing we didn't get Howl's Moving Castle because I would have bought that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
But I already
that
own
one-
Howl's
yeah.
Moving Castle, but
I
I would
love
have
that
bought the
movie.
steelbook.
Yeah.
I just watched
So-
it again recently.
Well, I
It's
showed
really
that
good.
one to John for the first time. Like that was at least a year ago now. I think.
So hi, internet.
hi,
Ghibli movies.
I tried.
I'm
I tried
sorry.
to start like changing
I
over when you
derailed
said last
things with
time
this.
on.
Right, but then we got
My fault.
distracted. We got
then
distracted.
cats.
Right,
Cats
right.
happen.
Yeah,
I'm
cats.
sorry.
This group is cats. It's fine. So last time, it's been a little while, but you set out. My dog is whining with a treat in his mouth. You set out from Hupperduke, for loosely Rexentrum. I mean Rexentrum via the Glory Run, which means Rexentrum via a nice little loop through Nugvarat. You encountered some hippie furball herbalists during a storm and bought some potions of zoomies, among other things. And you avoided a probably ghost circus.
Yeah, fuck that thing.
Much to
Probably.
Sterling's dismay. Sterling did not like avoiding the ghost circus.
The dog whining you hear is Sterling.
Yeah,
pouting in the
that
background.
is Sterling. He's technically
No
a
dog tar.
centaur, but
Core guitar.
he whines like my puppy. And you made it a good chunk of the way to Nogvarat. So you,
I don't remember where we were.
as I recall, you were staying.
I feel like we were about a day away.
Yeah, you were about a day away, staying at an inn called the Imaginary Canary.
Right.
Which,
Yeah.
Sterling.
Sterling has some
Oh
issues
yeah.
Yeah.
with his little brain.
Did not necessarily approve of this inn name, but there it is. And you had settled down. I think you'd eaten, as I recall, and we're just
I
sort of
think we
hanging
were
out.
Going to bed. To bread.
Yeah, I think you were going to bed, but probably not to bread because it wasn't quite that late.
Almost.
I like how that's the distinction. Is
Mm.
how depending on how late it is it bed or bread?
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it
going
is.
to bread
That's
comes
fair.
from them getting up and making bread.
Yeah. Going to sleep when people are getting up to make bread.
So, if you want to just sleep, we can say you wake up in the morning, still in the Imaginary Canary,
Sounds like a plan.
because it is not a teleporting Imaginary Canary.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always helpful when your inns don't teleport while you sleep in them.
It's gonna happen later.
We find it
never
halfway
know.
in. We'll find it again.
It's the
We should have
halfway in,
found it.
except it leaves us when we while we're there.
We should have found it like maybe a couple days ago. I can't remember how long this trip took.
The question is, if it leaves you while you're there, does it take you with it?
Or do you wake up on an empty plot of land?
Oh, all right. But what do you want to do with your day? You are about a day out of Nagvarat.
First things first, prepare spells and get another, do the whole, the parchment that was emptied the day before, takes it out, takes a quill, adds a new scroll of Hold Person.
Ooh.
Scrolls of Hold Person, handy to have. If you guys come down for breakfast,
Yeah.
there's
Food. I want food.
a collection of folks,
Hey, Tommy.
mostly humanoid, mostly human, some halflings, some dwarves. You're probably a more colorful lot in some ways than most of the folks that
Literally.
Literally has like night sky moving on her jacket.
Yeah, Gilda's gold.
And I am very pink.
Than the usual travelers that travel the Glory Run. But breakfast is being served, and the day is yours.
I don't. Right, we're headed back towards
Rexentrum.
more or less.
So,
my
you
hometown.
were
I
looping.
was like, where
to
are we even
Rexentrum.
going?
You were
We're, like,
looping to
over here somewhere, I
Rexentrum.
think.
Yeah, you're like around here. Yeah, I'm on the right thing. Around here-ish.
Around
I'm
where?
on the wrong layer. I
Glory
was on the
Run?
wrong layer. Like
Okay.
there.
Between Glory
I was
Run
accidentally
and
on the
Nagvarat.
map layer. Yeah, you're almost to
Okay.
Nugvarat. Your end goal is Rexentrum, but the Glory Run takes you by Nugvarat, so.
How far back was the circus? Like the previous day?
Yeah. So you had camped for a night after encountering the circus grounds. Close enough that I don't remember who, but whoever had high passive perception was able to
Yeah, Astromo, how's it going?
hear and spot some goings on.
It was Westcott, possibly me.
Yeah. But far enough that you were not at the circus. So you're about a day's journey out from the circus. That Sterling would be very, 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 very grumpy about not going to if Kia were here.
Yeah.
I am confident in that statement because Kia said it herself.
Yep. Well, I guess while they're eating breakfast, Fleur being probably, I'd imagine, a morning person.
It's up to you if Fleur is a morning person.
I mean, there's this part of me that is entertained by her being definitely like Anna
Doing
in
okay.
Frozen in the morning and just like a wreck and just. But like, no, I feel like she's been raised to,
to be a morning person.
Her parents are probably morning people, and so she is more prone to talk over breakfast. So she will just. Did everyone sleep all right? Making pleasant
Oh, it's a hell of a lot better than last
Yes.
night.
I agree. I'm assuming our how shall we put it? Our friend, our nature friends. I'm assuming they're still out in the stables. As soon as I'm done here, I'll go check on them with Daisy.
I mean, unless they decided to wander off in the middle of the night.
Oh, I hope not. Certainly.
Kind of rude at this point.
Yeah.
Some random person overhearing you say something about wandering off and it being rude says, "That's right," and just keeps on going.
Preach it.
You
Just raise a
wonder a
drink.
little bit if that person has had someone wander off in the middle of the night without telling them.
So, we were gonna stop in Nugvarat, right? Pick up some more food.
I believe so.
But not a terrible idea.
Bess,
bills, y'all.
Yes.
Fleur would know
Thank you,
a fair
Tommy.
bit about Nogvarat because it is pretty darn close to Rexenfrum.
Yeah.
So, it is
Cat,
Dollar
what are
bills,
you
y'all.
doing? Sorry.
primarily
Mommy!
a military town.
Mm-hmm.
What even? Thank you.
Mostly run by the Righteous Brand, though there are, of course, Crown's Guard there as well.
Bills, y'all.
Remind me again exactly
Calm
the
your
Righteous Brand
bits.
is.
Thank you. Calm. It's okay.
Mercenaries that
I
mostly
appreciate
do official
it.
business for the Empire.
Government
Oh.
mercenaries. Got it.
Yeah, basically. They're basically soldiers, but, you know, they don't have quite the same hierarchy as the Crown's Guard, so there's a little bit of, there could be a bit of tension there.
Bills, y'all.
Okay. So she will choose her words wisely.
Jeez, come on.
But it's a reasonably well-run town from what you know. It's just mostly military folks.
Okay. So I guess Fleur will kind of relay. So have you ever been to Nugvarat Guild? I guess.
This is the farthest north I've ever been.
Okay.
Empire is not really my playground.
So the just to I guess give you a heads up.
Dollar bills, y'all.
It's a very militant
Thank you, Tommy.
town. Is that the right way to describe it? I'm not sure. There's a lot of military type personnel there, but they're not your traditional. It's not full of the Crown's Guard. They're more for hire. If that makes any sense.
Dollar bills, y'all.
What is our history score? I'm like, would
Thank
Fleur
you
even
very
remember
much.
what they're actually called?
Yeah.
No, her history is actually good. I was like, her intelligence, but her history is actually good. So no, she'd say,
bills, y'all.
have you ever heard
Calm
of
your
the
bits.
Righteous Brand? They tend to frequent there, be in plenty.
So probably not somewhere that
Figure
we'd
out
want to stay too
what
long.
levels people are at. 'cause we
Yes,
leveled
I
up.
mean it's certainly a place where we could definitely stock up on supplies. But yes, not necessarily in town that we want to be staying in super long.
I might leave the shopping to you this time.
That is
Thank you.
I kind of stand out.
understandable, yes. I mean, I stand out myself, but in a slightly different way.
You stand out in the way that makes people like them want to listen to you and give you things for free. So,
Why, thank you.
hey, it worked very well back in Hupperduke.
Dollar
It
bills,
does
y'all.
have its advantages.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all the bits.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I feel like Westcott is like, stay out of the way of the Righteous Brand.
Calm your bits.
Stay out of the way of the military. But Westcott probably knows the Righteous Brand because he has lived in the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So, breakfast comes, you eat, you chat, you learn a little bit about, this military town in a time of, rising war, so they're probably a bit on edge. And whenever you're ready, you can go visit the stables and hit the road if you so choose.
Yeah, I'd say Fleur will finish up. She was probably eating whatever kind of pastries they had there. That usually is her favorite. If there's any breaded thing or pastry, and then yes,
They
she'll
they,
finish
they
that up and-
absolutely have some pastries. They also have.
Isn't one of those hotels that has its own little waffle maker and you make your own
Shit.
waffles for breakfast?
Thank you
God,
so
no,
much,
please, no.
Tommy.
No, but it is sort of
No, no,
a
no,
little
no.
grab and go, like not quite.
Calm your pants.
You know,
What even?
Continental.
yeah, continental breakfast, but not quite waffle maker continental.
No,
breakfast.
we're playing D&D though.
I'm thinking of
No,
some very
calm your
specific
shit.
hotels right now, and it's great.
Oh, there's a
No,
lot.
it's
Calm
very
your shit.
specific. Yeah, no,
D&D, no.
it's less. I mean, there is some table
Sorry.
service, but it's less table service and more
Oh my
buffet.
gosh, jeez.
The food is hearty and good, nothing super fancy,
Thank
but they do
you.
indeed have some pastries
God.
and
would-
eggs, meat.
At
Most
some
things
point,
you want.
I would wander over to. Is there like a bar or somewhere that you can talk to
Yeah.
someone?
Yeah, there's absolutely a bar. You wanting over looking for
Thank you very much.
Just sit down and wave somebody over.
a halfling
It's really
man
fucking hard to be in
approaches and
character,
says,
like following character.
"What can I get you?"
Maybe some talk. I'm curious about something.
Right.
Heard anything about a circus ruin a couple days down the road?
Circus.
Looked like the place burned down.
Yeah, circus. Few folks come through have mentioned that. Don't know too much. I think it's been there a while. But I also feel like he leans over the bar a little bit and says, "Not everyone sees it. It's one of those."
That makes a striking amount of sense, actually.
'Cause like I've heard stories of it off and on I've worked here, a good 5 years now. Came out here and it's a good job. Better
No
than
one
the
knows
city
where it
life.
came from.
Let's see. I mean, there's stories, I guess. Don't always agree though. You know how stories can be. But mostly
All right, cat, I will feed you.
I hear tales of circus stopped out that way. Camped out there for
As
a
you're just
while.
eavesdropping
to
and
hear
starting to take
tell.
notes.
Maybe a few decades ago. Don't know the exact time.
Long time.
Yeah. As I said, I've been hearing stories about this since I moved out here about 5 years ago. But some folks early on I asked occasionally, and he's leaning in, getting a little talkative with you because it's, gossip, right? But when I realized that, people can't come the same way, right? It's just a road. Most people don't come off the road to here. They either come from Nogvarat or they come from somewhere to the south, right? But not everyone who comes from the south sees it.
Well,
Seems, maybe they're just unobservant. I don't know, but
I don't know about that. The way it woke up at night, I'd say there's something else going on there.
oh, yeah, I've heard a couple of those, and that's sort of when I stopped asking questions myself.
Fair enough.
Don't really go in for ghost stories, especially not ghost stories that are a little too close to home. But
Fair enough.
yeah, about I don't know, a few decades ago, to hear tell, there was a circus that camped out down the road for a while. no one quite seems to know what happened to it. Some say there was some sort of forest fire. Some say someone actually burned it to the ground, but some say, candle fell over and that burned it to the ground. But all the stories say burned down. Then the stories start of people hearing strange things, seeing strange things. No one's really told stories of, seeing the circus, which either means that everyone's real smart or the people that did were really unlucky.
Well then, probably a good thing that we didn't get too curious, huh?
I recommend avoiding ghost stories when you can.
That is some excellent advice, sir. And I'm going to pull out a couple silver and pass it across the bar for his trouble.
Thank you kindly.
As it's just muttering, but ghosts can have secrets to tell.
Yeah, and other ghosts just want to make you one of them, Esri.
You can never quite tell which is which.
And that's why you don't fuck with them.
You wouldn't learn anything.
The halfling gives Esri a bit of a look and just heads back to work.
I'll find a challenge for that sometime.
Just rejoin the table until we all gather up.
Flora has gone out to the stables to check on Daisy and see if Strillis and Sterling are still there.
If they ran away. I assume Cyrillus is still there and Sterling is there as well. And Daisy is also there.
She's at least close by. She might have gone poking around somewhere to get some natural food.
In fair, yes. And Cyrillus would be able to find something around here. Nothing nothing particularly exciting, but given her preferences, is probably just fine foraging.
I assume Daisy is still there and fine.
Yeah, Daisy is just fine and is delighted to see you.
Badger kisses.
Yeah, yep. you get some really nice badger kisses out of it.
She probably brought Daisy something from breakfast too. I'm not sure what exactly Daisy eats, but I'm sure I picture Daisy like the dog that is just used to eating just like all the random table scraps. So like, Daisy probably eats anything and everything.
Yeah, I mean, what do badgers eat? Google, what do badgers eat?
Probably everything.
Carnivores. They're dominant prey are rodents, but they'll also eat nesting birds, lizards, carrion, fish, and insects.
So translate to giant badger.
Do earthworms.
Yeah.
Basically meat. Meat of varying sorts as is available and easy to acquire. Giant
so assuming
badgers,
there was some kind of sausage links or something.
Yeah, there was absolutely breakfast
Fleur would have brought. Yeah. So Fleur has brought some of that out, and if Sterling is there, she will. Good morning, Sterling. And said Sterling is not here, sadly. But I also imagine I don't know how much of a morning person Sterling is. So.
Sterling is sulking about the ghost circus. We'll just say that.
Sadness.
Yes. I think once we get food, I think we're planning to head out. Hoping to get to Nogvarot today, I think. Can I see Cyrillus? Is she like around or is she elsewhere?
I mean, that's hard to say.
I think, John, that's up to you.
I'm like, is she there or is she not?
I mean, it's probably not in the immediate
It's a low energy
area.
day. Sorry, y'all. What?
Alright, well then she would probably ask Sterling
Thank you so
River
much for the
and
$5 tip, Tommy.
is Cyrillus still
Thank you
around?
very
She didn't run
much.
away in the middle of the night, I hope.
I mean, I'm not going to role play Sterling, but
I
I
know.
assume Sterling conveys to you that Cyrillus is out looking for food or something.
Ah. Okay, that's good. Well then, I will. Well, I guess we'll get Daisy ready to go and join up with the others, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah, you can easily get Daisy ready. Cyrillus will show up at some point. I assume, unless Cyrillus has actually run off. And, you can hit the road. Unless anyone else has anything they want to do at the Imaginary Canary.
Not unless they sell like things that could be considered just interesting trail rations. Anything that keeps for a bit.
Yeah, they're not really in the business of selling goods. They more just, sell a place to stay and food for the night and the morning.
So some inns could be able to probably sell something for travelers as a little extra money on the side.
Yeah, I mean, roll me an investigation check, I guess, to find out if.
Yes, tell me to roll that sweet investigation. 15.
All right. Yeah, so you go up to the bar like Gil did and, ask a couple questions. The halfling that heard you talking about learning things from ghosts does not come talk to the strange girl that wants to learn from ghosts. And instead, a human woman comes up and asks you, "Need something, sweetie?"
Oh, was just a bit curious if you sell anything for travelers on the roads, any type of rations or dried fruits, dried meats.
We got a little. We don't do a lot of business in that. We're not too far out of Nogvarot, so most folks are either almost there or have stocked up. But we got a little bit of jerky, a little bit of mixed dried fruit, if you want any of that. Nothing fancy, but
yes, that would be perfect. Actually, thank you.
all right. She gives you offers you about a day's worth of mixed dried things, jerky and dried fruit, really.
Okay.
In rations for 3 copper.
Okay, we'll hand that over.
Mostly do this, have this sort of as like, well, if you get here and you don't have enough to get to Nogvarot.
Which is a very good business practice, by the way.
It's generally bad form to have your guests die before they get to the next day.
Exactly.
She looks at you and she's like, this girl does not look the hardiest. It's like, well, you stay safe on the road, all right?
Yes, of course. Thank you.
she heads back to work.
Go back to the group and offer some rations for the road for the day.
Thank you.
There's something to tide us over until we get to Nugvarot.
Thanks, Esri. Well, shall we?
I guess so. Do we have everyone? Did we find Cyrilus?
She'll wander up at some point. She
Oh.
does that.
Someday I'll get used to that. Assuming she looks over, sees Westcott is probably doing something shady, and goes, "Okay."
Okay.
Just a
Well
vague
then,
something shady in a hotel.
All right.
Westcott is over there inventing the waffle maker for them.
Yes, good.
Probably, honestly.
Maggie's not here to deny it. It's now canon.
We can check with Maggie when she gets on, but I suspect Westcott is working on inventing a waffle maker. He may not manage it at this particular inn, but down the road, it's gonna be a thing.
They're
He'll make a
called
fortune.
waffles, and they're going to take off. You want in on this?
All right. Well, you hit the road and start your day's journey to Nugvarot. And if someone wants to roll me a d10,
Sure. Oh, those are 8s. Aren't
an 8 is not a 10. It's
no,
true.
it's not. There it is. 8.
Westcott invents the continental breakfast.
All right. An 8. So it's a quiet day. The sun is out. It's actually pretty nice. Continue down the road. There's a few other travelers that you pass by, but
Maggie says, "Yeah, that track."
but nothing super remarkable. It's a nice clean day, and as the sun starts to head down, you see in the distance the walls of a city, or a town at least.
Well, Claire, I think that is a sign that it's your time to shine.
Sorry, I zoned out. Was that me? I was
It's your
like, I
time to
heard
shine.
town. I know, and I missed brain.
Oh, yeah. So you had a quiet day's journey. There were other people
Yes.
on the road. Nothing especially remarkable, just a nice, simple day's travel. And as the sun is starting to head down on the horizon, you see before you the walls of a town.
Ah, so we made it to, I'm assuming this is Nugvarot.
This is Nugvarot.
Ah, finally. Well, I guess you should, let's find us a place to stay. Do I know of any places that are
Thank you so
notable,
much for 6
reputable?
months of song.
It's-
I
it's
would
sun's going down, I'm
really
like,
rather not stay there.
Well, how late is it, I guess? Because if the sun's going down, Flair's
you
like,
so
it's
much.
just our camp right outside the walls, and that doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah, and it's not like you could probably get. It's sort of cresting down, so you probably have a little bit of time before it goes down, maybe half hour, 45 minutes or so.
Actually, question. So Fleur's fiance deals more in underground, underhanded things, sometimes the
Mhm.
less than presentable end of official business. Would Fleur know of any place that he might have ever mentioned that might be a little more welcoming to the company she's currently keeping.
I guess roll me a history check.
'Kay.
Just because history is the closest thing.
Yeah. Oh, and she's proficient in history, so I'm like, I'll take it. It's...
Paco, careful.
Oh, except my dice said no. 8.
I mean, Nogvarad is pretty buttoned up, especially with Shady Creek Run not that far to the north. And the fact that it's basically the Righteous Brand military and the Crown's Guard. There are certainly a number of inns and trading posts in the city, because it is sort of a key stop along the Glory Run. So they are, and this is separate from your history check, because that was a terrible history check.
Yeah.
But Fleur has lived just a few days from Nogvarad all her life.
Yeah. and I mean, for the check, I'm like, that's fair, because it was obscure things that she wouldn't have learned,
Right.
like, from her
Right.
upbringing.
Yeah. But that's why this is separate from it.
Yeah.
It is it is a military town, but it is also a big waypoint along the road. So while folks like Guild and Sterling and even possibly Cyrillus, because Cyrillus is a little bit odd.
She's odd in a different way.
Right. I mean, to military folks, Cyrillus is a little bit odd.
Yeah.
Might raise a few eyebrows. They do get a lot of travelers. So if everyone is on their best behavior, shall we say? Unlikely to... The existence of someone that is gold is unlikely to immediately start a fight.
Okay.
Haku, no, you cannot have my pillow.
Fleur will just, in response to the hesitation and whatnot, and I think we'll be all right for one night. Just try not to cause a scene, and let me handle most of the talking, I guess.
I will follow your lead.
They get a lot of traffic and travelers in and out, so as long as nobody tries anything shady, looking directly at Westcott, we should be fine.
Everyone turns to look at Westcott at the same time.
Who is probably eating waffles that he's made in his.
Who else is looking at Charlie?
I feel like not only does everyone turn to Westcott, some random passerbys on the road also just coincidentally, because he's very flamboyant, right? So they're just like, oh, he's an interesting man at the same exact moment.
Exactly the right
Why
time.
is everyone looking at me? But yes, I mean, for one night we should be fine. And
Well, Mr. RPG, thank you so much for the raid. Hi, everybody. Spotlight, Avery, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome.
More supplies
How was
for
your
the rest
stream?
of our journey, and then head out.
We're a bit low energy tonight, but welcome, friends. We're missing a few people.
If you say so, I will trust your judgment.
Hi, Raiders.
All right.
Hi, Puissant Pike.
You approach Nogvarad.
We're doing our
the gates are open.
alternate
Again, this is
campaign
a
tonight.
major waypoint on the
Our normal
road.
one is on hiatus for a
So,
bit while the DM
absent particular fear of attack,
has
pretty easy to
Gets
come
better.
and go. Though there are guards keeping an
Feeling
eye
the
on
weather.
the comings and goings. Other than a couple second glances at the more obviously unusual of your party.
Welcome.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's
the
not just
centaur.
guild; it's also a centaur.
Centaur.
Also, thank you for chat inspo. I just saw.
Hey!
In all
You have one
the
too,
I was like,
Jerusha.
oh, Flora
Cool.
has chat inspo. Woo!
You pass without much trouble. The general sense, I don't remember what everyone's insight is.
I don't remember what my own insight.
Oh,
Yeah, right?
We're gonna find out.
13.
18.
Cyrilus knows everything.
13.
12.
Yeah, Cyrilus, you sort of get a sense that, like, while they think a couple of you are probably a little strange, they also, based on what you've learned from Fleur about this town mostly being military, they also figure that. Oh, fair enough.
Now I'm like, I feel like most of this road trip has been explaining what military means. To Cyrilus.
If Cyrilus doesn't know what military means, then she just assumes that they assume that the city can handle whatever the heck the weirdness about you people is. I don't know what Westcott's insight is and whether or not. Well, actually, I can find out.
I would admit. Actually, no.
Well,
His wisdom is
wisdom's
pretty low.
crap.
It is very low. I just don't
I
know if
think
he has good
Sterling's
insight.
would be comparable. But
Sterling
Actually-
probably is good.
Actually, no. Sterling also, but Westcott actually has a 17 insight. He has
thought
expertise in insight.
Westcott had pretty good
Right.
insight.
Yeah,
That's right.
he has
Because he's
expertise
good at
in insight.
It's just everything else sucks.
So,
Yeah.
I will say that Westcott picks up on the fact that this is a military town. They assume that any trouble you guys cause, the large number of soldiers in the city can handle. And they don't stop you or question your passing.
I
As y-
take the cloak of many fashions and just make it very boring to kind of tone down the everything.
You're wearing the cloak of many fashions. Are you wearing the are you wearing the coat you got from Yinra?
Yes, but the cloak is on top of the coat.
Okay.
What
It would
does
be
that cloak
more
do?
obvious without the coat because it's just a crop top. It's just a crop top.
So you're
What does the cloak
yeah,
do?
bounty hunters worn out but very nice coat, a crop top,
Yes.
and a cloak of many fashions.
Yes.
I
The
love
cloak
it.
is kind of pulled up to just hide all of.
Does the cloak
All
actually
of that.
do anything though?
It's
Yes.
a cloak of many fashions. It just changes
Yeah, I don't know
its
what that is.
appearance to look more.
While wearing this cloak, you can use a bonus action to change
Drab.
the style, color, and apparent quality of the garment. Regardless of its appearance, the cloak can't be anything but a cloak. Although it can duplicate the appearance of other magic cloaks, it doesn't gain their magical properties.
So if I know that he has this or whatever, Fleur probably would have told Guild to try and match the coloring in her outfit to make it easier that if anybody were to question, she would say that he is employed by her family.
So it's like
If anyone were to question it's his would be more maroon than pink, but like
yeah.
maroon and fancy looking.
I could do that.
If he's worried about
I
blending
like
in, that way she can easily just
Of
you know,
course.
oh, he's
Yeah.
in my hire.
I like
They're
that.
probably slightly less concerned because Fleur is really, really, really obviously Empire.
Yeah.
Like, other than being pink, she's basically Empire military.
She is
so.
very much in a pink custom frilly Crown's Guard-esque
Yeah.
uniform. So yeah,
Yeah.
like
The Righteous brand might give her a few side eyes because
it's definitely non-traditional, definitely custom made.
right.
But
No, but the Righteous brand might give her a few side eyes.
Yeah.
And what is Fleur's perception?
her passive perception is 15.
Okay. Yeah. And she might pick up on that actually at 15. 15
Let's go get
passive.
some sleep.
that-
Thank you so much.
The Crown's Guard just sort of give you a nod and are like totally cool with your existence. I mean, even if they think pink's an odd color,
Why do I get the feeling now that it's like, oh, we've heard tale of this like tiny halfling girl that
This tiny pink halfling
wears
our uniform
frills and rides a badger. I didn't know she existed.
Yeah, I mean, well,
There's just
Wildemount's
like
not that far from Rexendrum, so
yeah,
it's
I'm just like,
entirely possible that those stories have traveled. So either you're not sure. Either
yeah.
they just see the uniform and go, "Oh, even though that's a non-traditional version of our uniform, she's clearly sort of one of us."
Mhm.
Or because your insight's not great, so you're not sure. Or
Yeah.
they've heard stories of you. You're not quite sure which. But
Yep.
the Righteous Brand military folks are giving you slightly more side eye. They're not stopping you and questioning you. But there's a little bit of tension there. And Maggie's on her way home, so maybe this is a good time to take a brief pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since we just got into town, yeah. If Maggie's about to be home soon.
I mean,
John,
she
what
said
is
she
that
was
face?
leaving now.
Okay.
John, you made a face.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I can't read John faces. John makes a face,
Well,
and I'm like,
I could tell that was reacting. I couldn't tell if that was reacting to this or reacting to the sudden loud noise that came from downstairs.
oh, fair.
Hmm.
John is not speaking, so who knows?
It shall forever be a mystery.
But yeah, we're into town, so if Maggie's on her way home, it seems like a good time to take a pause.
Okay. Okay, chat. We're gonna pause, and then we'll have a Westcott hopefully when we get back. Thank you again, Lawful
Westcott.
Stupid RPG, for the raid.
Westcott, who has been very
get all the
busy
rest.
inventing continental breakfast.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, never forget
Yes.
inventing continental breakfast in
And yes,
Wildemount.
Modlight, thank you for the inspiration. I will definitely use that
Yes.
to help us find a not shady place to stay.
Or
Or
a shady place to stay.
Depending
Yeah,
on
which
which
you
we
want.
want.
Technically, we want a shady place.
Mhm.
A shady but not
fine.
sketchy place to stay.
Fair.
Okay.
Just the right amount of shade.
All right, so I'll turn on break time. Back.
All right, I will
Oh,
take the
if this
dog
will
out
work.
because we're taking a break, and I might as well.
This is at least worth. If something's going on in this city involving, I'd like to know about it.
Of course, I shall follow their lead.
Yeah.
But for now, I know thou wishest to have thy spell time.
Spell time?
She's like, she doesn't really know.
That's a phrase.
She's like, that's.
Is that what they're calling it now?
He wants to go alone into the bedroom.
Modern slang
Put out some incense. What do you think?
It's gonna take me like 10 minutes.
Nah, I'll just void that. I'll cast locate object on gold coins.
You get several thousand dings on your locate object. Without too much trouble with that, you are able to find the horde of Zuthus, the corroded soul.
We found them. Yay.
Fike, I shall not say this very often, but get the hole ready.
Yeah, it's not gonna fit in the bag, brah. It's not
You
fitting
just
in the
got
bag.
experience points.
Yes!
Let's go. Let's go.
I hope you've got quite a few other a small army of capable fighters with you.
Smash cut to small army fighting people in the ring in that bar.
Ding, 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 ding.
Smash cut to Vanya and Orion fighting what looks to be about a dozen other dwarves in a caged ring.
Please tell me Vanya is wielding Orani like a club and is just and is swinging down, stopping right before that. Orani punches. Hey, the punching club, my only weakness.
Just leave one leg open so I can kick him too.
Smash cut back to the office. Smash cut back to the office of Nostock.
You could say we have something along those lines.
Specifically, this one's called. That one's called. Fuck.
It's a weird name for an island. Fuck.
Fuck it! I said
really
it.
don't want to go there.
Now. It's Fuck Island.
It's either the best or the worst island in the archipelago.
So named.
It's definitely not a mediocre experience, though.
So named because everybody who goes there says, "Fuck, this is a terrible place."
That's actually their slogan. Fuck, this is a terrible place.
Yeah, it's what their tourism bureau tells people. Yeah, so as you're going by Fuck Island, you hear some crows saying, "Yeah, the people on Fuck Island are fighting each other again."
I don't suppose the crows recognize any cult symbols?
Nah, no cults there. Just 3 different groups of people with very strong ideas about what to do.
Just a bunch of fuckers, really.
Yeah, basically.
So these fuckers want to raise taxes.
Only some of the horrible things going on are cult things. The rest are just regular terrible people.
Just double checking.
That's fair.
Because I kind of want to know who our neighbors are, but that'll be on that goes on to the to-do list.
All right. Yeah. I will. Let me come up with some quick faction names for you while we're sailing.
The factions that we can get to fight each other harder.
Sure. They're already in a turf war. You can't start one amongst them.
Okay, so our goal is to stop the turf war. Got it.
We need to unite the fuckers against a common foe.
Common fuckery.
Friends, Romans, fuckers.
Under the banner of common fuckery.
Oh, I'm so glad we named it Fuck Island. Oh,
I thought I didn't have enough caffeine for this, but apparently I
do. I'm just gonna go ahead and start another Google Doc real quick for Fuck Island. Because I think we're gonna see more of it in the future. Alrighty. So yeah, you pass by Fuck Island. The fuckers are fighting the fuckers are fighting the shitters again.
Fuck you all. I might be crying. I'm laughing so hard.
You're gonna have to give me a second. Okay.
Fucking same.
If we conquer it and then eventually trade it away in a business deal, we could give somebody a fuck. Or if we refuse to do it, we would not give a fuck.
Fuck you!
Look at all the I have to give. Yeah. Okay.
If the shitters are involved, I don't want to take any shit.
I think I'm just dead, guys. I'm sorry.
Their main factions are now canonically the fuckers, the shitters, and the dammers. The fuckers really want to fuck shit up. The shitters just the shitters are big on the idea of public infrastructure, specifically for sewage, and the dammers are really, really big on building dams for some reason.
They're a big fan of beavers.
Yeah, big fan of beavers. They're beaver people. Yes.
So it's ultimately a conflict about public infrastructure planning.
It's ultimately a conflict about public infrastructure of two people who have very strong ideas on two groups of people who have very strong ideas about what the main form of public infrastructure should be and what their focus should be, versus one other group of people who just really, really want to fuck shit up.
I just thought like the fuckers were just like really into just making it a very island brothel.
Fuck.
This is starting to sound like a Dr. Seuss book.
Almost.
It's really all just really about the type of whorehouse they want.
We'll work on it. I'll write something for Fuck Island. Do not fear.
You're
the
welcome.
main takeaway for now: beaver people are now canon for Euelia. They will all speak in Newfie accents. All of them. All right. So yeah, Fuck Island. That is now.
Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this.
And I'm gonna inflict wound.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna do inflict. Whoops. Come back.
Inflict whoops.
Whoops. Inflict whoops. As if I've made a terrible mistake.
Very educational.
Of course, it is my calling to aid those in the name of the Wild Mother. You are a follower, and from what I've seen, a good one. And it was my pleasure to assist you in such a daunting task.
Given all that, she said you would be most effective of a teacher, and she was not wrong.
Well, I have long caught the Wild Mother's eye in doing good works for her for many a year. And the fact that she would say something like that to you about me.
Just watching this being like both a bit like surprised and also like, oh shit, she called him a crotchety asshole. I'm not gonna don't think about it.
I did so enjoy slicing into his flesh that one time. I was a battle axe that time. It was pretty cool.
It just like does that. Oh, it's so fucking weird to hear you say pretty cool.
I'm picking up the nomenclature. Things have changed a bit, but I'm starting to pick up, the lingo.
Ren would appreciate him way more than Arani.
Cool. I'm hip with it.
Tucka. I just realized he does kind of have a Dr. Evil's voice.
I'm hip with it. I get jiggy. I get down.
Let us return at a later time.
Very well. Did you wish to speak to anyone, Seo?
Who do I speak to?
depending on your needs, the high priest, or whatever the equivalent is for temple.
Who's the high priest?
I would suppose you would look for the... What is the correct term for this? Biggest badass in the yard? Is that right?
Oh, I see where this is going, so that means I gotta kick their ass. No?
I would not open with that, but the chances are there.
And coast another lightning beam across it. Fuck you, Ren. You're a terrible person. And it is barely standing.
Fucking.
It is barely standing.
That's what I get for trying to save you.
Yeah, it's not the tracks didn't necessarily get smaller, Fike. They just changed shape and became bipedal instead of quadrupedal.
Fast it up. The bear's walking on two legs now.
No, it's definitely not bear tracks anymore. It's definitely
it's not bear.
No, they're
Changing the shape of his foot.
They're definitely humanoid.
Father Fike was about to have a conniption with
Oh, yeah.
freaking Noxus. He's about to be like, "You fucking idiot! It's still a fucking bear."
That's how we couldn't find
It's a tricky bear. It found shoes. It put shoes on. This is where it sat and put on shoes. It struggle with the laces.
This is what happened to the last traveler. It fell for a trap.
It wore its last traveler's skin.
Oh God!
I don't know how big that would be, but I assume it's.
And that was when God carried the bear.
Yeah.
God, for the love of Cord, stop.
Oh my God!
All right, we know that there are 1,000,001 bear puns out there. Let's try.
And I can, you know what, guys, I'm barely holding myself together right now.
Let's turn Persona 4 very quickly.
Oh, God. This is just unbearable.
Yeah, that pun was unbearable.
All right, everybody get them out of their system.
Commit this grisly murder.
All right. Anyway,
We're good.
All right, that's where we're gonna call it tonight.
What is this other book that you speak of? And she sort of closes the book in Dwarvish, and she kind of sits up a little bit and sits back, sort of in that centered watery area, and with a lot more dexterity than you would expect, actually slips the Dwarvish book into the bag of holding, and then flips open the butter churning milkmaid, flipping through it sort of page by page.
She was very accurate in how she described it.
She was. You're not wrong.
And you can see after a moment she just stops.
Bellis is doing his absolute best to keep a completely straight face.
Yep.
Maria is keeping a straight face.
Elias is trying so hard not to laugh.
Bellis has high charisma. I think he's good, but it's
or not just not react.
Katana's just.
Right. There's nothing.
I'm just going.
She like. She turns like one page, and she's like reading through it. She kind of
good parts.
Well, she flipped through a bunch of it. She stops, and she turns her head to sort of like regard you and look at you, and then she looks back to the book.
Oh, we just gave the dragon a bodice buster.
And she looks back to you. I have lived for almost 1,000 years, I have seen the ending of the world and the birth of a new one, and in all that time, I have never experienced anything like this.
Something we both have in common.
She sort of like leans down, looks at all of you like a little bit closer, and like, do you little people create much of this?
Have you heard of the Great Word Archive of our own?
It is perhaps more common than it should be. But
Yep. Varying degrees of quality, but
as with all things.
It seemed like something that perhaps, as you said, you have not had the opportunity to experience.
She sort of nods her head and slides into the bag of holding with the other book.
And thus ends the saga of the Third Buffet. 30 fucking sessions.
Oh my god.
We gave it to a dragon.
Okay, this is probably the worst use of an insight check ever, but does she seem to like it?
Actually, yeah,
Make an insight check.
I need to know this. I need to know.
Oh no, you guys.
Hey,
that's
I know, I'm like, I want to roll 2, but that's
14!
20. 20.
20 for insight on the dragon liking the smut.
Okay. All right. Go into the Whispers channel because it's Whispers time.
D&D Beyond.
I thought very carefully, by the way, about how weary I should describe the smut.
Yeah.
She wanted to be 100% accurate, but also, you know, positive about this document.
No, the dragon's just putting in the name of like her high school's crush as opposed to the Lord in this book. The dragon creates the first fanfic.
I want you to bring me more.
Britannis just starts writing fanfic.
Eventually becomes a world-renowned smut writer.
Oh god, she finds it later in a different life, and like, what
there we go.
All right, Maggie, just since Westcott was there for the whole thing, you guys stayed at the Imaginary Canary. Guild asked one of the workers questions about the ghost circus.
Mm-hmm.
Fleur noted that Nugvarat, which Westcott would also know because he has been around the Empire for a while, is a military town.
Oh, right.
So be on your best behavior.
Yeah.
Guild said no. Don't want to do that. Fleur said it'll be fine.
Yeah, as you guys went in, Westcott, because he has a high enough passive insight. I went and looked up his insight.
I keep forgetting he has a good passive insight, honestly.
He picked up on the fact that while some of the guards were giving you guys some weird glances, they probably figure that there's enough soldiers in this town that if you guys do cause problems, you're fucked. And that's basically what happened. There was some chatting, there was some conversation, but it was mostly, hey, tell me about the ghost circus, and then travel to Nugvarat. The ghost circus, by the way, some people see it, some people don't.
That's somehow worse.
Apparently,
right?
the circus burned down there several decades ago. But no one quite knows how it burned down.
Oh.
That's
like
fine.
there's multiple stories about how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that Guild asked had only been there about 5 years. But sort of picked up over time that some people didn't even know it existed. So either they were completely unobservant or it wasn't there for them. Said tavern worker, inn worker, also noted that he likes to stay away from ghost stories, especially ones really close to where he lives. And whenever folks are ready, Aaron can restart the stream and take us off break. Cool. All right, so you guys head into Nogvarat. This is a major stop along the Glory Road. It's a good-sized town/small city. As you look around, there are a lot of soldiers here, which might have been surprising if Fleur had not mentioned that. You see some in the the uniforms of the Crown's Guard, but more in the uniforms of the Righteous Brand. It is a busy town, and it looks like that main drag that you're walking in on from the gates is lined with inns and taverns and shops, clearly designed for travelers along the road. So it is, and it is also, the sun is starting to set, but it's still not dark. Like, it's not night yet, but it's late evening.
I guess Fleur is looking around for either just, if she sees like an inn or someone that looks like they might be able to direct them to a place to stay.
Yeah.
Before
this
it gets
was kind
dark,
of just
ideally.
a pit stop, resupply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So the plan is, because we have nervous party members about so much military things, basically, since it's almost dark, Fleur's thinking, we'll find a place to stay, stay for the night, and then basically first light, head out, get our supplies, and just go on the road. As early as we can, just to kind of hear as little time as we need to without being super awkward.
Yeah.
Roll me an investigation check, anyone who is looking for an inn.
I will roll that.
Dice does not like me.
Okay, that's
9.
Give me a sec to get
24.
this character sheet up, and I will tell you what I rolled.
Investigation?
Could use that inspiration.
22.
Oh.
I mean, Esri
I don't need it yet. I'm like, I'll use the inspiration when I'm talking to people. That's when I'm...
So there are several
I think it might be a
inns
14.
along this main road. What was that, what, Maggie?
Oh, I think it's a 14.
All right. Well, Esri and Guild got a 25 and a 22 respectively.
Who for?
So you're pretty well covered. There are quite a few inns along the main road, and as Esri and Guild, you start looking around. Are you looking for like a nice inn,
the appropriate amount of shady?
The appropriate amount of
right
shady.
Yep.
I feel like Esri's just looking for an inn, and Guild is looking for one that is appropriate.
Really
amount of
shady.
Yeah. So Esri, you find
As he's reading Yelp reviews.
You find a whole bunch of inns, and you just start pointing them out. Like,
there's an inn, there's an inn, there's an inn.
It's really, really, really clear that this road that you're on, this stretch of the town, is very much designed for travelers, right?
In row.
So if you like venture off of it, you're probably in like the less traveler friendly parts of the city. But this road is like it's straight through, you go through it, you go out of the city on the Glory Run, you're back on the road to Rexentrum.
It's like Breezewood.
Yeah.
There's just that main drag, and then
Esri, you see like 3 or 4 places fairly quickly that look like they might be inns or at least taverns. It's not always immediately obvious from the outside whether they have beds or just ale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see the Leaky Tankard, the Jealous Cat Saloon, the Marked Cauldron, and the Sword and Sword. Because that is a name.
Just immediately drawn towards the Mark Cauldron, probably.
Guild, as you look around a little bit, you are immediately against the idea of the Sword and Sword because that seems like a little too military for you. Though,
I feel like Guild's just like, really?
Yeah, no. Like, Ezra's just sort of like, well, that's a silly name. And Guild is like, the fuck?
Yo, dog, I heard you like swords.
You know, maybe it's just an inn for people who really like fighting, who aren't necessarily military. You don't know, but
it's thick euphemisms.
like
We all know it.
She has sword and
or
sword.
maybe they just
It could be a
really
brothel.
like gay sex. We're not sure.
Could be a brothel
I would like to point out that last one
fighting
has
pit.
definitely not occurred to Fleur and will not get to Fleur. She's like sword and sword, right?
No,
Sword and sword. I got this.
I feel like Guild that would
I'm with you, Fleur. I'm with you.
occur to.
Oh yeah,
No, that is the
Fleur
first
is just
thing
the
that
most
Guild thought of.
innocent-minded about that whole thing. Like she is just like swords, military town, duh. Like
So
gay bar in.
Right. And so like, part of you is like, stay away from the swords. Part of you is like,
Maybe the swords?
But also, you're kind of concerned about taking, say, Fleur or Esri into a gay bar.
yeah, let's
I
not
love that
stop
everyone's just
those for life.
absolutely accepted that Guild would go to a gay bar without even questioning it.
Is it wrong? I'm sorry, but is it wrong?
It's not wrong.
Rest my
I
case.
never said it was wrong.
So you skip over the sword and sword. As Esri is drawn to the Marked Cauldron, you look at the other 3. And Esri, you also look at all 4 of them, really. You probably don't make the gay bar connection for the sword and sword.
No,
and just think it's a silly name.
To be fair, they did follow a cult of a bard for a long time, so who knows?
That is true. You may have heard very interesting tales of sword fighting. So maybe you do make the connection. I leave that up to Esri. But probably not. Guild, you look at these 3 places that seem like the safer bets because either the sword and sword is bad for like Fleur and Esri, and also like other folks might find it real weird, or it's like fight bar.
Could be both. Probably
Yeah,
both.
yeah,
Possibly
both.
both.
Brothel and fighting pit.
But the Marked Cauldron seems a little upscale for you, which is what Esri is drawn to. The Leaky Tankard seems nice. Hard to tell for sure. between that and the Jealous Cat Saloon, but you sort of get a sense, and Esri, you also sort of get a sense that Jealous Cat Saloon looks more like a bar.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Jealous Cat.
The Jealous Cat Saloon may have good drinks,
but it's not an inn.
Probably fewer rooms. So the
Place to
Leaky
stay for the night.
Tankard, if you're looking for something like reputable but not, but like the right amount of shady, that's probably the safer bet than the Marked Cauldron.
I would kind of just gently put a hand on Esri's arm and point. I think this one's a little more our budget.
All right.
Low key, remember?
I suppose so.
I mean, Fleur would, upon hearing that or whatever, give it at least look over that way, and as long as it doesn't look super sketch, I mean.
Just wandering away from the Marked Cauldron and be like, "Don't tell me your secrets next time."
Fleur, roll me an insight check, I guess. Insight the bar.
I actually rolled well. Wow. 19.
Hey.
Yeah, it sort of looks like the kind of place that Guild wouldn't stand out in. I mean, Sterling gonna stand out anywhere you go.
Yeah.
He's half horse. But Guild probably not gonna super stand out, and Sterling is gonna raise fewer eyebrows in the concerned about their presence sense than Guild. Because while centaurs aren't exactly common, they're also not necessarily associated with the Empire, whereas strange skin colors more so.
Yeah.
Or not the Empire, the Dynasty.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, I knew you know what I meant, but I was like, I will correct myself. So probably the safer bet in that sense, and it looks like a decent inn. You suspect that any real dives would be off this main drag. So any place here is going to be at least of passable quality. Compared to if you want a really shady place, you're gonna have to go further off the road. But
this seems like a good balance of just the right amount of shade, I think, for what we are looking for. I forget which one this was already, but
the Leaky Tankard.
Ah.
So you walk up to Leaky Tankard. It has a swinging sign, with shockingly a tankard of ale on it. I know that's unique. You have noticed on your journeys that inns tend to really like really obvious imagery. See the imaginary canary that was yellow. But
Bravos, thanks so much for the follow.
Open the door and head in. And yeah, it's an interesting group of people. No one immediately pings any red flags for anybody. I'm not that Westcott is really good at spotting red flags because he's a walking red flag.
Giant red flag.
Like, I feel like Westcott's like, oh, okay, no one I would work with on a con is in this room.
I think you're muted.
We did not.
We're really quiet.
It's fine. We can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was muted, but
maybe someday this group would.
But yeah, it looks like a fairly comfortable, cozy bar. There are stairs up to one side, which you suspect probably lead to rooms.
Let me. If you're still around when we're done, let me serenade you with my sub song.
It's not super crowded for dinner, but again, this is a traveling stop, so it's not like people don't come in fairly late and still want dinner. But as you walk in, a young human man greets you and says,
"Nerd!"
Looking for food or lodgings or both?
Both if they're available.
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't ask if you wanted both. But anyway.
You'd be surprised.
Not wrong.
Fair enough, honestly. I hadn't thought of that. But yeah, no, I ask because I have both. How many counts, you guys? How many rooms do you want?
Esri and Fleur have shared before, so
Mhm.
especially in this area, Fleur's like, I'm not staying by myself.
Yeah, fair.
In the not upscale military one, she's like, so yeah, if they tend to room together, I forget, did Guild and Westcott have their own rooms?
They
normally?
did. They did. I think Guild and Westcott have had a room. Fleur and Esri have had a room.
I think last time the boys all shared a room.
Yeah, all the
That's
boys
what
did
happened.
last time.
Sterling often stay in the stable.
All right, Tara.
We can do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I-
Tara went too.
Yeah, because we're like, yeah, we can fit all, you know.
I think we either fit everyone just
In
in
two
a
rooms,
couple of
or-
rooms, or we do 2 per room. Probably either.
So Fleur would just say, I mean, really, if you have 2 rooms and if you have a sizable stall maybe in your stables, for my badger and certainly our one friend here, kind of motioning over to
Vanoid Centaur.
Sterling just waves. Like,
Yeah. No, Sterling seems to be more comfortable in the stables, which are more designed for, equine bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, Fleur's like, we'll gladly pay, a room fee if that helps for extra space in the stables, but it
we
really
have
is more practical than
we have a stable fee and we have room fees. Do the badger and your friend want to share a stall, or would they like their own stalls?
She looks at Sterling, and I'm like, I feel like they've typically ended up in the same stall normally, because
That's fair.
Daisy's
just be
big and
chilling.
fluffy. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
so I think I mean, if it's large enough, they usually are fine
right.
sharing.
Yeah,
I guess
so
it depends on the size that you have.
We can hand wave that and assume they either stay in 1 or 2 stalls. The difference in price isn't going to be enough to matter.
Yeah.
But it is 2 silvers per room and 1 silver for the stall, so 5 silver total. And
5 silver total, you said?
Yep.
All right, Fleur will pay that.
Meals are breakfast is included, but dinner is not.
Oh, it's one of those places.
It's a bed and breakfast, basically.
Bed and breakfast.
5 silver?
Yeah, 5 silver
Sorry,
for the
I'm just
rooms,
making sure,
including
actually.
breakfast. Dinner is just like 3 copper a piece for each of you, so it's not a lot. It's just not included. But you are provided with room keys. You are shown to the stable for Daisy, and for whenever Sterling and or Cyrillus would like to retire there. And then you are offered dinner for 2 copper apiece.
2 copper or 3? You said 3 first.
Did I? I thought, okay,
Yeah.
3 copper apiece. Sorry, I miss.
Just making sure.
Well, so you wanna head out and pick up supplies tonight, or wait till morning? On our way out.
I mean, looks outside. How dark is it?
Yeah, what time is
I
it?
feel like
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the question. How late is
the
it?
sun was setting when you were coming in. By the time, if
Honestly,
you go out and do stuff and eat dinner after, you could probably finish shopping within a reasonable time. But if you want to eat, which it's getting fairly late for dinner.
Yeah, and I feel like
beforehand.
trying to find the places and whatnot and racing against the clock is just going to be more stress than it's worth. So yes, I
Yeah.
think if
Eat
we
dinner. Try
head
and
out
get a
first thing in the
early
morning
start.
and we know what we're looking for, we should be able to fairly quickly gather our supplies for the rest of our journey and still be off in a reasonable time. I feel that is probably the easier option as opposed to potentially trying to find things in the dark. So
Works for me.
Good.
Also, we've had a long day's journey, so might as well actually, take a breather and
Get some.
rest up, eat some food.
So if you take a table, food is brought to you. It's hearty.
Do they have a table by the window so Sterling
just stick his head through the window?
They absolutely have a table by the window, and they also absolutely can provide Sterling with a salad. So, all your bases are covered. I feel like when you sit down, you ask about salad or something vegetable based for Sterling. They have a sort of a default dinner that's hearty. Meat, potatoes, a little bit of veg. The sort of thing that you might want to eat after a long day's journey and before another long day's journey. But they can provide other things for those who prefer different options. Again, this is a traveler's inn, so they sort of know that some people have unique preferences. But they bring you your food and sort of leave you to it unless you ask them any questions. It's not a high service inn. It's more of a just let you go about your business, and if you need anything, you can tell us in.
As we might ask, since Novgorod is so close to the mountains, just consider stories that they've heard from adventures going to the mountains or
So feel free. Well, roll me either a persuasion or an investigation, whichever you pick. I suspect you're going to want investigation, but I will give you the option.
Roll to be nosy.
21.
Yeah. So it was more of a question of, are you asking the right questions, or are you just like, please tell me, are you wearying or?
No, well, not wearying. More just your glint of glasses, pulls out book.
The woman who brought your food gives you a slightly strange look because she's not used to sudden questions about mountains from weird girls with books. But
that tracks.
But she sort of shrugs a little and says, "Oh, well, there's the mine not far from town. There have been some strange tales from there lately.
What sort?
I mean, miners going missing, no trace. What sort are you looking for?
Mostly legends and stories of old magics out in the mountains, Age of Arcanum type legends.
I'm not an expert on this. I don't really. The Age of Arcanum is a long time ago.
No, just in case any adventurers have come through on their way to the mountains here. Searching for treasures.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, there's the mines. Those are reasonably profitable, though I think they've been on a bit of a downturn since sudden disappearances. Those tend to turn down profits. Beyond that, I've heard tell of a dragon further to the north. Dragons like knowledge, right?
Dragon? What kind? Just
Ezra, no.
flip. Ezra, yes.
Well,
dragon.
Let's see. And she pauses for a moment. Like, it's clear. Like, it's very clear that she's trying to sort of, again, this is sort of the place that's like lets you go about your business and doesn't ask a lot of questions. So she's not necessarily gonna pry, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what do you want, Kat?
I don't know. I just heard some stories, words about maybe a she thinks for a minute. I think seeing a red dragon. But it's also possible, like, again, I don't really ask a lot, so maybe they just meant dragon with fire, which I think could mean other dragons too, right?
Yes.
And Ezri would absolutely know that.
Starts listing them.
So, I'm not an expert.
No, of course not.
But there was definitely fire involved. I know that.
Fiery dragons, all right.
But other than that, I don't know anything specific. I feel like anything, I don't know, if I were finding weird Age of Arcanum knowledge, I might not just talk about it. But who knows?
I understand why people wouldn't. It's good to share knowledge.
We're clearly not from Wrexham.
Yeah, like
nope.
This is in
Nope.
very close. Only a few days away from Wrexham. And they are very used to the idea that mages don't share their knowledge.
Mages don't share. Period.
So like, she's like, they mostly don't talk about those things. But yeah, there was definitely dragons and fire. That much I know. Beyond that, as I said, minds, disappearances, but that's not necessarily magic. That could just be like some sort of creature.
But it is a mystery.
It is a mystery. I'm kind of worried, actually. And she like sort of pauses for one and thinks, there are folks in this town that sort of rely on those minds. The non-military types. If they have to shut down or something.
That would be terrible. But thank you very much for the information.
Of course. Let me know if you have any more questions. Can't promise I have answers, but I can try.
Appreciate it. Should go back to the group. Did you hear about the mines here? Interesting missing.
Mines?
Yeah, people going missing. It's apparently a big mystery around this part.
Has Fleur heard of that before?
Yeah.
Is that like old news or is that new news?
No, Fleur has absolutely not heard of that.
So at that, Fleur will sit up and go, "No, people are going missing."
And yeah, she'll explain what she heard about that.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, just miners going missing. This woman doesn't know a whole lot. She didn't know a whole lot, but recent. It did sound to Ezri, as a side note, that it was recent. Like this is a new thing. Woman, she said she didn't know. Maybe it's magic. Maybe it's a new creature. No one knows.
Both of those things ping.
You said in the mines around here? I'm assuming Fleur would know where the
Yeah, like
what mines she was.
just north of Nogvarat.
Okay.
It's definitely like one of those like the majority of the economy, and Fleur would know this, and
Mhm.
Westcott probably may well too. The majority of the economy of Nogvarat is either military or tourism's not the right word, but travel.
Yeah.
Like no one comes to Nogvarat to visit Nogvarat.
But a lot of people pass through Nogvarat.
But a ton of people pass
It's a
through.
rest stop town, is what you're saying.
Which is why there were like at least
Breezewood.
It's Breezewood. I was gonna say.
But the folks that aren't military and don't work on sort of the travel economy parts of the city often commute up into the mines. They're not far away. They're, quite close. It's right at the base of the mountains. And there's not a lot of like super fancy metals, but they're not finding like platinum and all that shit. But they're finding good, solid metals for weaponry and armaments and things like that, which in a military town is good money.
Mm-hmm.
So if the mines stop producing,
that's not good.
That's bad, potentially bad both for the miners who might be dying.
Well, yeah.
Or
also,
just
I'd imagine
can't
for the town
work,
itself.
but also potentially for the military groups that rely to some degree on the production of the mine.
So basically, that could directly affect Rex and Trump.
Right. Yeah. Or just the war effort outside of Rex.
Well, yeah, that too.
Because like Hupperduke does more like weird mechanical shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nogvarat is far more of a source of base materials for basic weaponry and armaments.
How much longer do you have for your deadline, Mr. Guild?
I mean, a little bit. I'm not sure exactly, Jerusha.
Yeah, so I think the answer to that question is you didn't have a strict deadline.
Mm.
You were instructed to get there inconspicuously and without any sort of question into what you were carrying. So the main concern was discretion, not time, though they did want you there sooner rather than later.
I mean, the sooner we get there, the better. I just need to drop something off, and then we can be on our way to wherever.
Just wasn't
What do you
sure.
think?
Well, potentially looking into this mystery while we're here.
That sounds like a bit more than just a detour. And she said dragon.
Oh no, that was further up north. That's something different.
I don't
But
know.
They don't think this
potentiality
dragon
down
is
the line.
related to the disappearances?
Dragons are not subtle.
Well, I know, but I mean,
No,
dragons are
but-
certainly capable of making people disappear, though.
Well, yes, but if this
But
is the sort that's
usually not
fire,
subtly.
I think we would know if it was the dragon that was making people disappear.
But what do
I
we...
guess you have a point.
Aside from sheer curiosity, nothing against your insatiable need for knowledge, Ezri, but what do we stand to gain from this?
Oh.
Gesture over to Flora. This one has an insatiable need to do good.
And well, besides learning.
That was adorable. Also, that was like
cute.
I just picture Fleur eating. She just looks up. I do. just the innocent. You're not wrong about that front.
Well, gesture to that. But also, besides potentially solving the mystery for this town, well, this is mines are very profitable, so potentially saving the economy here could be helpful for us in the way that you understand, Guild.
I like money, but I like staying off the radar too.
I mean, I feel like we should at least look into it.
We don't have to make a large deal out of it. We can just take a look.
Right, just take a look.
I mean, the mines
Casual
are outside of the
wandering
town, though, so
around.
I mean, if we get our supplies and then just. It really is kind of just a detour on the way out, isn't it?
I feel like we're going to end up in this regardless of what I think, so.
Well, considering you at least, most if not all of you agreed to, I suppose, a business relationship in the sense of going to the mountains anyway, this is just one of those.
This feels like a terrible idea, but I'm
know.
not going to tell you no.
Tell you what, if it'll make you feel better, Guild, if it is a really big problem, and seems like it's either going to be more trouble than it's worth for our time, or more than we can handle, we can continue on to Rexentrum, and once there, if I find my brother, I'm sure if he learns of this disappearance, he will certainly be able to organize some people to come and investigate further. That would at least ease my conscience about it. If we can at least.
I'm not going to be the one person who says we don't do it. I think that that's up to everyone here. I mean, I am on a bit of a timetable, but a detour won't hurt as long as we're not taking every detour we find.
Just immediately, glint, look around to the table.
Stuck going wherever she goes, so. I mean, I'd prefer to get paid for this, but, you know.
I mean,
Well, you don't know if
Westcott.
it's going to be you doing the job or going to pass it along to my brother, so.
Yeah.
I thought they were paying you.
Westcott, and I mean, I'd say Cyrillus because insight, but Cyrillus is insight. Cyrillus is not really well versed on people, but definitely Westcott, and maybe Cyrillus if John feels like this is something Cyrillus would realize. You could probably at least quietly ask around. And maybe get paid. If this is really a problem for the miners, you might be able to sort of get an off the books thing from some miners that don't like that their friends are disappearing.
Especially
I feel like that's something that Westcott would
Actually, yeah, especially if like
suddenly just casually walk up to the job boards in the tavern or something.
Especially,
it's more of a
if it's more of if the local leadership and like the military is not doing much about this, be like,
right,
hey,
exactly. So like that is what I'm
You're
saying. Like
dropping the ball.
Westcott, you would absolutely realize that you could probably ask some discreet questions. And Fleur is a good use for that because Fleur is sort of like
people tell me things.
Yeah, people tell Fleur things which you would realize after this time with her. You could also ask and you might get knowledge, but like Fleur sort of blends in a weird way in this military town. If you ask some discreet questions, you might be able to figure out whether this is something that the Righteous Brand or Crownsguard are already working on versus whether this is something that miners have been complaining about and no one's been picking it up. And if it's the former, you know,
We can-
maybe you're not interested.
Yeah.
If it's the latter, I mean, if it's the former, you could, you know, Fleur might be okay
Pass
with
it
that,
on
right?
to her brother in that
But if it's the
case, but-
latter, you might be able to find some miners who might pay you some money to figure out why their friends are vanishing without a trace.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll ask around and.
Do you
You're
want
already
to
going
put
shopping
you
tomorrow,
know,
so that's a good
yeah,
opportunity to go asking.
We'll ask around, see, you know, if it looks like something that might be worth our time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Westcott.
Not.
Cyrillus is more of a read people in the moment
Mm-hmm.
person.
Yeah,
than...
no, that's why I said like I leave it up to John, like because Cyrillus's insight is really high, so like
more of a she's good at reading their body language in the moment.
Well, yeah. She's good at reading people in the moment more than like taking advantage of how they think.
Right, and that's why I was thinking Westcott is the right person for this. But I also leave it in general. What I will in that situation, what I will say is, John, if you think Cyrillus would pick up on that, that's fine. But I'm giving it to Westcott if not, or Sterling if Sterling's around. But Sterling might also have some.
Sterling
weird
doesn't
things
seem to
they'd
care
pick
too
up
much about money, so
Yeah, like this really felt like a Westcott thing.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think it's an early night for me.
Yeah.
Right. That's not a bad idea, and get an early start then tomorrow.
I think I'll probably hang around here while you go look. But let me know what you find.
All right.
And I'll just finish whatever ale or whatever and head up to the room.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So all of you finish up your dinner and head to bed unless you have something else you want to do before bed. And the sun rises and you
I feel
wake.
like Fleur might ask Esri about what she's always taking notes on or something, because I feel like she's
have
been,
that scene.
especially like on the traveling, like just so because if they're sharing a room,
Yeah,
so
have that scene. Go ahead.
on getting up there, just Esri, you like asking a lot of questions, I've noticed, or you seem interested in things that not many people are.
Well, yes. Of
Why
course,
is that?
knowledge is knowledge is the best possession one can have in this world. So,
Really?
being able to understand and learn about a mystery or something that you don't quite know about before is it can only be a benefit to you, right?
I guess so. I never thought about it that way. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it can lead to learning about mysteries that can potentially be solved and better everybody.
You like solving mysteries?
Oh, absolutely. That was what I've been doing my entire life, really. Or trying to.
Yeah, you remind me of someone. Can I let you in on I don't know if it's a bit of a secret. It's kind of a bit of a secret.
Yes, please. And she starts like immediately taking out a book.
Well, actually, I mean, so the reason why Westcott is traveling with me is he's helping me look for someone. Someone very, very close to me has gone missing, and I'm not sure where.
Oh.
And actually the person that you remind me of is the one who they also ask a lot of questions and like poking their nose in places that, well, sometimes they probably shouldn't. So when they went missing, well, I got concerned and but yes, we haven't found much information, and to be honest, I'm not really sure where to begin. But
Just kind of
I
like
think
glances down
I'm
at her
glad
book.
I have
look
you
back.
along because I think someone like you is handy in this situation. Often I feel I don't know which questions to ask, and you just seem to ask them all. So, thank you.
Grim and I are very sorry about the one you're looking for, but of course, we're happy to aid in any way we can.
Thank you. Yes, I'm afraid I don't know how many more details I can share, just because I don't really know much about what happened at all still. But although, who knows? Perhaps returning to Rexentrum will shed a little bit of light. That's where they're from. That's where I'm from. So,
Having any clues you can get, especially from people close to the one missing, would of course be beneficial in this.
yes, I mean, he plays his cards pretty close to his chest, so I'm afraid even I don't know all of the details, which is proving to be quite troublesome. It's hard to go looking for someone who is tight-lipped about so many things.
It is very difficult, isn't it? Which is why I'm trying not to be.
But yes, so I guess keep being you and keep asking questions. And who knows, we might stumble upon something useful.
You always stumble across something useful if you ask enough questions.
I will keep that in mind. Well, I guess we should rest up for tomorrow, and we'll get our supplies, and we'll look into those mines, because I do hope we can do something about it.
I'm sure we'll be able to find something. Good night, Missler.
Good night, Esri. And asleep.
And scene. So you wake up in the morning. Whoever's up
I made
first
myself actually
comes
choke.
down. More people come
Fuck.
down. You have breakfast. Breakfast was conveniently included because this is basically a B&B. A slightly shady B&B, but not like a super shady B&B. Exactly the right amount of shady. So like no one would question Guild and Sterling, but you know, it's a nice place. Breakfast is not quite as buffet style as the Yellow Canary, which led to Westcott starting to invent continental breakfast and possibly a waffle maker. We're not quite sure.
Still working on it.
Verdict's still out on that one.
Yeah.
He's still working out the kinks on the waffle maker idea.
Gonna workshop it until he gets
Just
back to
wait
Papa
till
Duke.
Terwin gets a whiff of it. I am sure Terwin will hop all over that.
If Westcott takes it to Terwin,
oh yeah,
you guys are gonna have a waffle maker for Rex.
that's what's gonna be like the rest of the way to Rexentrum is just the two of them workshopping a waffle maker.
They're riding on just a floating desk and just like
Guild is just watching, like.
Yeah, that's basically.
I have no idea what the
cart,
fuck
don't
you
we?
guys are doing.
We do have a cart. Oh, that's something.
You do have a cart, yes.
So
you
they
get a
could
cart
see that.
in the cart.
But they bring you breakfast. It's when you come down, they ask you if you have any special requests. But assuming you say no, it's again like dinner, sort of meat, potatoes, a little veg, but of the breakfast variety. If you do have any special requests, they are happy to fulfill those as long as they're reasonable.
Any kind of pastry, if that is around, Fleur likes it.
Yes. They ask, do you want all pastries or just partial pastry?
Just partial. I certainly like them, but I know a variety of other meats
Yes.
and other things is also
So
good.
for the they bring you since you're a table, they bring you a table that includes, a handful of pastries, nothing fancy, nothing like super high end, but perfectly serviceable pastries. Meat, potatoes, vegetables, slightly reduced all three of those to account for the pastries, but all good food. Not not the nicest food you've ever had, especially Fleur, because you had a bit of a noble upbringing.
Well, yeah, she's.
But
Until she
nothing,
learns to expect that on the road.
absolutely nothing to complain about. Even for Fleur, like it's just, yes, this is not high end, but this is perfectly good food. And the day is yours.
All right. Well,
Some shopping. Maybe ask around a bit about.
Yes, cat. What? I have a cat stare.
What's
Yeah.
I'll hang around here. Just tell me if anything interesting happens.
All right.
Just don't make it too interesting. Looks directly at Westcott.
No guarantees everything I do is interesting.
You would say that.
You would
Define
know.
interesting.
Anyway. And questioning the locals.
Look.
Yeah, and if Fleur is not necessarily thinking in terms of getting paid, so if Westcott says something to her, she will try and be a little more intentional about asking in that direction, but otherwise she's just, she'll I guess wherever she ends up going,
It kind of depends on if,
Yeah.
if it's already being investigated, then, but,
I will just take a little bit of food upstairs and to snack on and wait on them to get back.
Also, I don't remember what supplies we actually were
Yeah, I
replenishing.
don't
Was it just
remember either.
food or?
I think it was just food.
I think it's
rations,
just food unless
Oh,
there's
right, because we
something.
got fresher food. That's what it was. We got
Right,
a little
yeah.
fresher food, so more. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, last time in Hupperduke, you got enough like basic rations to last you the trip, but you got some more fresh food, so those first couple days were, nice food, and then you sort of have been stuck on trail rations for a few days. But yeah, I think I assume the goal here is to get some more fresh food to carry you to Rexentrum.
I just wanted some fancy food.
Yeah.
But anything else anyone wants, whatever that may be,
Yeah, I guess I'll
as long as it's basic, you
anyone
can
don't want
acquire here.
to look for anything.
I think I'm good. I got crossbow bolts back in Hupperduke. It's the only thing I would need.
You don't need anything for your spells or whatever.
Blood.
Looking at Ezra and Terwin. Need any?
I think we're all right at the moment. Isn't that right, Grim?
Aaron, you're not talking.
Oh,
yeah, you're muted.
I'm sorry. Like looking at Grim. Right. I think we're all right at the moment.
What?
Kia, I was relaying part of the game to her, and she just said, "Is someone's dick getting cut off by a sword?"
Oh.
Oh, the sword and sword.
This is the sword and sword.
Oh,
Yeah.
The sword and sword.
That is an option.
That is
I
another
mean, I
option.
guess we're not kink shaming.
Yeah,
We're not kink shaming.
We do not kink shame here.
Shaming, and then there's.
But I don't.
I'm not sure if that
I
qualifies as a
suspect that anything can be a kink. But I suspect
But that's the thing you can only do once.
Yeah. But those sometimes are kinks.
Yeah.
They're unfortunate kinks because they can only happen once, but they're kinks.
Was that, like, you find out that's your kink and then you're like, dang.
Dang.
It's over already.
Anyways, wow, thank you, Kia.
Fleur, who all is going out to go shopping for supplies?
Fleur will look for food because she did that last time. So,
Anyway, so yeah, Fleur goes
let's
out looking
go.
for food. Is anyone else going out looking for information or food or
Yeah,
anything?
I'm going to
Okay.
pick up supplies, but also kind of more looking for information.
So each of you roll me an independent investigation check. Who's going out?
Investigation?
Yes.
I'll investigate the room.
14.
Oh,
26.
on.
Hone in.
7.
Okay, Ezri, what are you looking for at the moment?
Obviously, like, more information about
The mines.
The mines,
stuff?
yeah, the mines, yeah.
Okay.
Trail.
And
100%.
Fleur was a 14. All right. So yeah, Westcott, you get a bit distracted.
Actually, wait. I have inspiration.
You
from
do.
chat. What is that? I forgot.
It's D6.
I'm gonna add that.
Okay.
Woo! 6. So make that a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right.
Thank you, chat.
So Westcott, Ezri, and Fleur all set out to see if they can find information, if they can find food, supplies, whatever.
Cyrilus might tag along with Westcott because
Okay. Cyrilus tags along with
Reasons.
Westcott.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Suddenly concerned.
She's the child is going to learn crime.
Yeah.
Westcott, you start.
Mandalorian.
You're a bit nervous in this town. You're trying to be very careful about not asking questions of anyone that might possibly be military. You sort of figure like Ezri or Fleur can handle that part, though Fleur's not really looking for information, so maybe Ezri at least? Like, Ezri's unassuming. No one's gonna wonder about this weird wizard child. No one's worried about her. She's fine. So you focus primarily on folks that don't look like they could ever possibly be military. The challenge here is that folks that don't look like they could ever possibly be military mostly are a little bit like not the most physical folks. And well, miners are also pretty physical folks. So you're just asking like random questions of shopkeepers and, you know, tavern keepers and just...
He's just harassing the grandma on the street.
Yeah, and you know, the ones who are local are like, yeah, I've sort of heard stories about that, but they don't have any news stories.
News stories, okay.
So, you know, it's not like you've confirmed what you already knew.
Yeah. Not learned anything new.
But you haven't learned anything new. Ezri, you, with your lack of fear of military, because why would you care? You have nothing to hide. You're just looking for knowledge. And why would this matter? You start asking around. And you follow a few leads. Haku, stop barking at me, please. And You even ask a few soldiers. The soldiers are like, I mean, yeah, we've heard the miners complaining about something, but not really our business, right? I mean, if we get the orders, sure, but if we don't get the orders, we can't just wander up to a mine.
Well, I thought it might be pertinent given miners create or gather materials for military, right?
I mean, sure, but again, if I don't get the orders, I can't just wander up to a mine. Like, that's not up to me. And you start to get the sense from the handful of folks you talk to that are more military leaning that, yeah, the military is sort of vaguely aware that there's a problem, but the supplies are still coming. And no one has said anything to the folks in power who might be able to make a decision. So they've heard the complaints, but they can't do anything about it unless they get an order. And it's wartime, right? So they're not doing anything. And then you ask a few more
True
questions.
evil bureaucracy.
It's true. Then you ask a few more questions. And you start to ask some folks that, aren't military. And you find a younger man, looks pretty fit. Maybe not a miner, but he points you towards a tavern that's off the beaten path. And that tavern is called the Staff and Barrel. Haku, what are you doing? Sorry, pause a moment. The dog has stolen the couch cushion.
Oh no! Oh no! Dog, oh no! Why?
Because dog.
Why are you like this?
The couch cushion has been returned. Okay.
Hooray!
So the Staff and Barrel. It's off the beaten path, and luckily you're pretty unassuming because it feels like maybe someone like Guild or Sterling will be getting some side eyes heading back off the roads like this. But you're just a person. Like, they don't know about your magical skills. You just seem like it's just this weird, weak human.
Yeah. Aside from her like slightly enchanted garb.
Your slightly enchanted garb, but like unless they know a lot about magic, they're not going to realize that it's slightly enchanted garb. So
Pattern moves a little bit.
Yeah, but then who's paying that much attention?
That's true.
So you head off to this inn, or this tavern. It's not really an inn, and it's still morning. It's still early. It's still breakfast, and you head in, and there's several groups of what look like they might be. If they're not miners, they're certainly physical labor types. They don't look like soldiers. And you hear one of the groups saying, one of the men in one of the groups saying, I don't want to go back there. Not after Thomas vanished.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Oh, terribly sorry, but were you perhaps referring to what we heard about in the mines?
They look at the group all looks at you a little bit surprised, and the guy who you Spoke looks at you even like a little bit more askance and says, I mean, yes, but who are you?
Sorry, hello. Esriana Locke. Nice to meet you. I happened to be passing through with my compatriots and overheard that there was some sort of mystery, people going missing, and I happen to be one to not shy away from trying to solve such mysteries. So I was curious about getting some more information. Perhaps myself and my compatriots could take a look and perhaps solve this.
You don't look terribly fit for mine exploration, if you don't mind me saying.
Yes, we get that a lot. But I assure you, everything's fine.
All right then. I don't. You said you have friends, right? Compatriots?
That's right.
Are they a little bit less frail, I hope?
They're all quite able, yes.
All right then. Well, look.
Pardon me a moment. She takes out her book, conjures up the quill.
All right. Well, okay. I guess you're on an information gathering mission then, or something.
That's right.
Anyway, look, my name here. I'm Luca Brandler. I'm a miner up there. Recently, last week or two, even not long. Look, mining's dangerous business. You know, people get hurt, people die. It happens. But we've had several folks. We started heading down a tunnel that we hadn't done any mining from. And folks that are alone that go down that way, they vanish out of trace. Not every single one, but like most of them, you know how that goes. But my buddy Tomas, he went with a group. Not a lot, 3 of them. You know, figured, well, the folks who go vanishing are by themselves, right? So maybe if you don't go by yourself, you're okay. Tomas didn't make it back. The folks he went with, Carl and Ian, they've flat out quit. But they said that some weird creature, multiple legs, climbed down the wall and just sort of grabbed Tomas and wrapped around him and then just ate him. They ran because, you know, I mean, like, I would have really liked Tomas to come back, but I totally understand why they ran. But big weird thing. They sort of, you know, like a centipede meets a crocodile type thing. And if you want to roll me a nature check, you certainly can.
16?
Yeah, so you've studied a bit of like cave denizens, right? Because you want to go up into the mountains. This sounds kind of like a Behir.
Oh.
Wraps around a thing, swallows a thing, crocodile / centipede. Climbs down a wall.
Oh.
You suspect that this mine is beset by a Behir. Especially given the information about they started down a tunnel they hadn't really worked down before.
Oh. I think we might understand this better now. Forgive me, this might sound a bit crass, but I know some of my compatriots, well, we could possibly deal with this mystery, actually, but I know some of them might be a bit more opposed to going into such a dangerous situation without potential compensation for the troubles. Do you know if anyone is offering any sort of reward for dealing with this?
Make a persuasion check.
You got this, Esri.
Yeah. Girl.
Oh boy.
I mean, guy wants
Someone
it dealt
give
with.
her inspiration.
What? I don't think anyone's around to give me inspiration for this. 12?
12. Look,
give you guidance from 5 streets away.
Yeah.
You
tried.
How about this? Honey?
Whatever spidey senses, cleric
Yeah.
senses. I don't know what they would be.
I'm not gonna offer money to send you up into the mines. That seems. Well, I don't like sending people on suicide missions. But he looks at his friends, and they all sort of nod a little. We're gonna be here a bit longer. If you and your friends who might be a little less
squishy,
we might make us a little less concerned that we're sending someone to their death. Wanna come up here and ask about that? I mean, look, we want to go to work, but we don't want to die. So again, I think maybe money could be pulled together, but I'm not going to offer anything until I know whoever's going in is slightly less likely to just vanish like the rest of them.
Yeah. She's gonna look down at Grim and just like seem to be having like a mental conversation like, you're right, seeing is believing, of course. If you're going to be around, I can find them.
We'll be around a bit longer. And, look, I don't think any of us are going up to the mines today, so we can get back here in the next hour or so. I think we'll be here. I just said, yeah, don't want to send you to your death.
Of course, thank you. Then I'll be back. Post haste.
And she's gonna like jam at the door, try to find where other people went.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
a little bit of excitement. Here.
Guild is back at the inn.
Mm-hmm.
As are Cyrillus and Sterling.
I think
No, Cyrillus went with Westcott to learn how to talk to people and cry, maybe.
Also, I feel like, side note, Westcott wasn't bad at talking to people. He just didn't ask the right people.
Yeah.
So let's skip to Fleur, which should be happening at the same time that Esri is happening. So you rolled a dirty 20?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is pretty easy to find. you're mostly looking for food. You pass up a few
somewhere with
shops.
fresh food, ideally.
Yeah, you pass up a few shops that look like they're lower end. You suspect anything that they would have that's fresh is probably not that great.
Mm-hmm.
Probably fine for the average traveler who just wants to not starve.
Yeah.
But you're looking for something a little bit nicer. And you find a shop further down the road.
Sauce, Raid. How are you,
That
friends? How's your
looks
stream?
quite nice.
We're gonna deal with a Bahir, maybe.
They have actually some fresh fruits and veggies in the window. They look like they probably carry.
Yay!
Um,
It's going well. It's been a low energy
some
night.
nice
but
goods.
We're getting towards a new mystery.
Go in there then.
And
Potentially defeat a Bahir and save some miners.
You head in to see a older halfling woman.
Hell yeah. Rip it.
Working behind the counter, and she looks up and says,
"I need more caffeine."
"Oh, hello. How are you?"
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Invincible Apple.
Yeah.
I love that name. Well, I'm looking for some fresh rations, food for my traveling companions and I. We are on our way home to Rexentrum, home for some of us at least. So we will need enough to last us however long it takes to get to Rexentrum. My
Few days. It's a few
We are
days.
currently in
It's not
Nogorat,
super
heading to
long.
Rexentrum.
But it's it's like
Potentially dealing with Bahir in the mines.
maybe about a little over half of what it took from Nogorat, which is about 8.5 days. So, 4 or 5 days ish. All right. Yeah. You want stuff that's gonna last there? Well,
I know
can give.
fresh won't get us the whole way necessarily, but
Well, some stuff will. Apples are really good for that, actually. As a potato, well, potatoes you want to cook. Gonna cook along the way, maybe?
I mean, can you cook a potato on a fire?
I mean, yeah, wrap it up and stick it in the.
Our DM has one. Thank you.
Bakes.
Westcott's about to invent the baked potato too.
Yes.
I'd be sad if he was the first person to think of
I
baking
feel
a
like
potato like that. So.
I feel like that's just that Fleur doesn't do travel food, so she doesn't understand how things cook.
Oh yeah, earlier.
That's why she's just like, I don't know. Can you It's like maybe we have a fire. Does that mean you can cook a potato?
That Raiders earlier we decided that our resident con man probably invented the waffle maker or is trying to invent the waffle maker and the continental breakfast.
Well, fair. Couple resident con men.
That's true. One of them.
Well,
At least
I think
one.
They're collaborating now.
There you go. Yes.
The artificer and the fake cleric are making a waffle maker.
I'm pretty sure people have cooked potatoes in fires. Apples don't take cooking though, so that's handy.
Apples are great. Yes.
So
she really likes apples.
5-ish day. Well, she works at a store called the Invincible Apple.
It's true.
And I mean, we do have.
She's the apple woman.
Some of our companions do seem to prefer fruits and vegetables. So yes, anything of that sort would certainly be welcome.
First couple days, most things will work, and then the last 3-ish days, you want stuff that's going to last. You have, I assume, some other stuff to fill in, like some jerkies and things from your.
Yes, I'm assuming we still do.
Yeah. I think you bought enough for the.
You bought enough for the whole trip.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well then, yeah. So, and she starts gathering stuff up. This and this and this and All right. How many folks do you have? Did you say? You have 7. total.
7.
Plus Daisy.
Plus Daisy.
Though Daisy isn't gonna eat fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
All right. She gathers a couple big bags of stuff. Big, especially big for you, though you can carry them. This
Well, I
should...
figured Daisy's like parked right outside. Yeah.
Yeah, you can carry them out to Daisy at least.
Curbside pickup Daisy.
And she says, this first bag is the stuff you should eat first. It's some of it might go bad if you try to keep it out for more than 2-3 days. So
Well, we'll be sure to eat that first. Yes.
And then this stuff is stuff that is gonna keep longer. Some of it you want to cook in the fire, but some of it, like the apples and things like that, those will keep for a few days by themselves. And let's say 3 gold.
All right, sounds fair. And Fleur will give her 3 gold, and she'll tip her an extra gold. Say, just for your
pleasure.
Hospitality. Thank you.
Well, enjoy your trip and stay safe.
We will. Thank you for the fresh goods and the food.
Food is important.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if she knew that Westcott and Esri were both going out looking for information. She's gonna think to ask specifically about information, especially at a food market.
She probably did. I suspect that Westcott and Esri were not quiet about their plan.
Yeah. So I was like, they're good at asking the questions, so she figures they've got it covered.
Yeah. So you head back to the inn, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So you get back. Guild is there. Sterling is there. Westcott and Cyrillus make it back a little while later. Unfortunately, without too much information. But they have confirmed the knowledge of the innkeeper, which is at least helpful. A little while later, though, Esri comes rushing in.
And then
Esri, are you Esri? You being chased by bandits?
No, but good news, everybody. Found information. Just trying to. It's most probably a Bahir.
Does Fleur know what a Bahir is?
Yeah.
Everyone can roll me a nature check to see if they know what a Bahir is.
Is it
Fleur roll a
considered?
history check because she would have learned about it in a book if she does?
Sure.
Is it considered a monstrosity?
Yes.
Oh, not
so I have
good.
advantage.
Yes.
Because of my ranger.
That's an 8 for me.
Yeah. 9.
Nature?
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Guild, you absolutely know what a Bahir is.
Don't know what it is, but it sounds bad.
Fleur and Westcott are really unsure.
I know what it is. It is bad.
You know what it is. Yeah, it's bad. They're very blue, but yeah, they do look kind of like a crocodile mixed with a centipede. They tend to make their lairs in hard to reach, hard to traverse tunnels and burrows left by other creatures that have left or that they've killed potentially. And they're sort of stealth predators in a lot of ways. They pop down from holes and...
Esri, why do you want to fuck with the Bahir?
Do
you not understand that poking something that could eat you is a bad idea?
Well, at least for us, it's not about being close enough to be eaten. But we are solving this mystery. And there's potential for...
mystery solved. Let's go to Rex.
Never mind. I don't want to actually.
But there's potential for the compensation you wanted. They just wanted to see the group involved.
Esri, they eat people.
Yes, that's the problem.
I've heard they especially like small wizard girls.
I don't think that's specifically accurate.
It will
at least
be
from my
if
research.
You go in there.
They have a particular appetite for.
To be fair, I don't think I would provide much meat. In all honesty,
That's true.
Thank you, Sir Ellis.
Please don't encourage her.
How fast you responded to that.
Does Cyrilus think about us all in terms of how much meat we would provide?
It was a fair point.
Oh, I know.
She could objectively agree with it.
Yeah.
But they eat people. I would rather not get eaten. I don't know about the rest of you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the miners would rather not get eaten too.
Why is everything our problem?
I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I don't know.
Look,
I mean,
I
if
knew
it
some
is
people.
As bad as it sounds, it is.
I knew some people back in
Marquette.
Marquette. They ran some things through a cave system to get to another city, and they went in with 10 people. They came out with 3. Because there were Behir in there.
How many wizards did they have?
I don't know. You have a Behir exploding spell? Is that a thing?
Well, technically, we have an exploding spell.
Can be a Behir exploding spell.
Have you tried out enough?
I need more alcohol for this.
Really? Put your mind to it.
You've seen our modified fireball.
Kills wants booze.
I do want booze. This is not.
And we can cast plenty of things that aren't electricity.
Some things are just a bad idea, Esri.
Well, yes, but this... We wouldn't think this is beyond our skills.
I
how much
don't know about
compensation
that.
Are we talking? Did they say?
Hmm?
You mentioned that we
did
could
they
compensated. I mean, if we are facing man-eating beasts, hopefully
potentially,
that would be.
They just asked to meet with the group to see, because they didn't trust just doing one of these.
They want to know that you're not going at it just by yourself.
Yes. That's obviously preposterous. That's why I asked you all to join.
But I mean,
Someone bring some liquor over here, please. Someone? Anyone? I don't care what it is.
And if
Hi. Welcome to the second coming of Doll, the one who will try to get you into do things.
The one guy looks over. One of the employees looks over. He was like, "Do you want it mixed with juice, or do you just want booze?"
Booze.
Fair enough.
At 9 in the
comes
morning.
You can mix it with more booze if you want.
And puts down a glass of
Booze
beer,
plus
because
booze.
that's what he has handy.
Hold the water, add more booze.
Yeah.
He's not used to getting asked for booze without like sweet stuff in the morning, but so he just brings you beer.
I will chug the beer.
Right back. I need a quick bio break.
Okay.
I mean, well, we can. We can look into it, and if it looks like it's too much, we can deliver the message to the guards in Rexentrum, maybe? See if they can help.
I would very much not like to end up in the stomach of a giant bug.
I mean, so would I. So
You're
But
small.
then-
You'd fit even better.
I'm also pointy.
That's true. Great. So it will hurt while it digests you.
I don't think Daisy would let that
If you
happen.
stab things from the inside, they vomit you back up.
Draxing your way out of a Bahir.
Yeah, right.
I feel like Fleur is well aware that sometimes if you stab things enough from the inside, they vomit you back up.
Also, I enjoy
Even if
that.
she hasn't-
Probably, I'm like, yeah.
Even if she hasn't experienced it, she's certainly heard tales.
She probably knows. Actually, I'm like, yeah, no, her fiance probably has experienced that, I'm sure, in his whatever he does, you know.
I just enjoy that,
Yeah.
Kristen, you have a type, and that's fuck. Why do you want to make me work? Drink.
Phyllis is okay with it sometimes.
Sometimes.
It depends on the situation. I just.
Hello, I'll be your mission driver. Let's do this shit, motherfuckers. But here.
So you seem to be stuck at an impasse of, do we want to go find the Bahir or do we want to leave and not go find the Bahir?
The vote seems to be going in favor of the Bahir. I'm just gonna bitch about it.
Any other objections?
I mean, it. Like I said, if we, I mean, we don't know how many there are. If it's just a Bahir, if it's a bunch of Bahir, because I feel like that's the difference.
Guild in particular. No, so Guild with that dirty 20, Bahir are usually solitary.
Okay.
It's very rare for there to be a bunch of Bahir. They would probably kill each other. Occasionally there are other creatures around Bahir, but mostly they just kill and eat them. So unless it's a creature that like they for some reason can't kill and eat, which generally means too big or just, you know, weird and not appetizing for some reason, they are probably solo. You also know that you heard a tale of a dragon. If there's a Bahir in that mine, there is definitely not a dragon in that mine. They are not in the same place.
Ugh, but it's a Bahir. Just for your reference, Terusha, because I don't know if I've mentioned it, technically I would have advantage on checks for monstrosities and fey, fiends, and undead.
Cool. If you're doing any check that might include some of those, remind me because I may not remember. But
Yeah. Some of it is from each class.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's probably a solo Bahir. Possible there's something else there, but unlikely. Or at least semi-unlikely, based on your knowledge. Definitely no dragons, though. You're 100% sure no dragons.
100% sure no dragons. Good to know. There is a 0% chance of mine dragon.
Yeah, so basically
Bahir with us.
and I when Guild says there's a 0% chance of mine dragon, because that sounds like a Guild statement.
That is why I said it like that. Yes.
Back. Had to grab some water.
Esri, because I feel like making weird connections with history is probably your jam. So you roll me a history check.
16.
Sure. You feel like you've heard some kind of story or read some kind of story or something about Bahir's hating dragons, maybe because they were made as enemies of dragons. But yeah, no, Behirs and dragons definitely not together.
No, that's obviously ridiculous. The other one was obviously more up north too, from what they said.
I still feel like a Behir is a terrible idea, but you know.
It's certainly terrible for the people here. They're dying.
I
And they
genuinely can't tell if you're more concerned about the people or the story.
I mean, we solved the mystery.
Yes, but you want to go see the mystery for yourself.
Well, yes. Being able to study a creature like that could be beneficial if we come across another in the future, especially in the mountains.
Another Behir.
Yes.
Because one Behir isn't bad enough. Now we're talking about another Behir.
Again, we are going to eventually be going further into the mountains, and plenty of caves there. So being able to come across one close enough to an established city is beneficial. So we know potentially how to deal with one if we come across it more in an isolated area.
I give up.
Guild has been overruled. Mostly by Ezri's enthusiasm for killing Behirs. So after Guild downs probably a couple beers.
Yes, keep them
These are
coming.
them for studying Behirs while we all kill it.
Ezri can lead you back to the staff and barrel.
If we're traveling into that part of town, I would keep the hood of my military-looking cloak up.
Okay. Yep.
Oh yeah, you stole her jacket.
Yeah. But it's covered up
I
right
forgot
now.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not like super far off the beaten path, so you're not going like close to barracks or anything, but you are heading off of the usual traveler paths. But you head to the staff and barrel where, sure enough, there are miners hanging out, including Luca, the miner that Ezri spoke to earlier, and he looks up as Ezri comes in and then looks at the rest of the group and is like, huh. Honestly, didn't expect that.
I can assure you, truth is what I deal in.
I mean, I didn't necessarily think you were lying. It's just quite a group here.
That's a polite way to put it.
So, you interested in figuring out what's going on in the mines? I take it this one was, he points at Ezri, was here asking about it earlier.
Interested is a strong word.
Yeah. Some of us more than others, but
Fair enough. I wouldn't want to, so I appreciate that. Look, I told your friend. I talked to my friends here while she was gone, just in case she actually came back with a group of folks who might actually want to go in there and see what they could find. Can't offer you a ton, but we're not poor folks. We can't do it. Well, we can technically do our job without this getting resolved, but we can't do our job without potentially dying without this getting resolved. And none of us are super fond of the idea of potentially dying. So, cobbled some folks together, and he looks around the room, not just his table, like he clearly went and talked to every miner in this room. We can offer about 900 gold, maybe a bit more. 900 gold up, well, 600 up front. Definitely at least 300 if you make it back, and possibly more. But I have to ask more of my buddies who aren't actually here this morning. Because, that's about all we can afford. But I have buddies. And, they might be able to add more. I just don't know.
She'll look back at the group.
What do you think?
I mean, I think it's at least worth looking into. But
Not a huge fan of this plan, but I'm also kind of.
If you
At least someone else said it.
But I also
I
don't have a lot of,
I can appreciate not being a huge fan of the plan. Believe me.
It's also not really
But
my
look,
decision.
even if you just go in and find information, as long as you come out alive, you have 600. And if you go in and solve the problem, there's an extra 300, maybe more.
I don't know that 300 is a good price for killing something that big.
I mean, it's 900 total. Plus
Right, but
potentially.
for the killing.
Look, we're miners. We're not exactly rolling in dough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean,
Guild, if you're going to be stingy about it, I'll pay you more.
You don't pay me.
I
he'll
said
pay.
Guild,
He'll pay
not
Guild.
Westcott.
She likes me better.
I'm paying you in silence.
Look, all I can
You're Maggie, you're not talking.
Yeah,
What?
you're muted.
Oh.
Or something.
No, she was just making faces.
Oh
Okay.
no, I was saying, what did I do to deserve that? Like, he's just like, why?
Look, I can.
Who did I piss off up there?
Whoever your god is.
Yeah.
Whoever your
that's
god
keeping me
is.
entertained.
Yeah.
Look, if I could guarantee you more, I would, because I don't want more deaths from this thing, but there's only, what, like, and he looks around. 12 of us who are here who are contributing, and I can ask, as I said, I can ask some more folks, but I can't ask more folks before you got here because I didn't know she was going to show up this morning, and then I didn't know if she was going to come back with other folks, because even if she had other folks who were actually equipped to go deal with this, that doesn't mean you would come back, as I'm sure you can appreciate, since at least 2 of you are not super fond of this plan. So I haven't had the opportunity to see if I can get more. I'm not the government. I'm not someone who has infinite money. I can't. I can petition to Starosta, but he's a little bit
Yes.
preoccupied.
And the true evil bureaucracy.
I mean, look.
Somehow I don't think your leader types are going to be too keen on paying us either, so.
Yeah, you might be right. Look, this Starosta's he's a good dude. But
Probably a little preoccupied at the moment.
Yeah, there's word of a war, and then I don't know if any of y'all have noticed, and Westcott, you would have noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Cyrillis, you would have noticed, but maybe not figured out the cause. And Fleur, you noticed a little bit based on how they were looking at you. But you don't understand the cause either. There's, a bit of tension between the Crown's Guard and the Brand around these parts. The Brand's mostly in charge of this town, but the Crown's Guard, well,
like to throw their weight around.
Well, and they've got a little extra power from the Empire. So, Letty, he's from the Brand, but he's fair. But I think I get the sense that he's a little preoccupied with making sure that the two sides of that coin don't start trading blows, and no one needs that with a war on the horizon. So,
well, I mean, would eliminating this threat also be beneficial to, would you say, both the Crown's Guard and the Brand?
I mean, keeps the mine operating at full capacity, yeah.
All right. Well, then, I mean, I don't hold much weight. I'm not really an official Crown's Guard, but my family is. So perhaps if I talk to them, maybe we can consider this an extension of Rexentrum helping out over here, and maybe go a little ways to ease their tensions and put that in a favorable light, perhaps a little better. I don't know. Pulling at strings, I
Certainly
guess.
worth a shot if you want to give it a shot. Look, are you guys willing to go up to the mine, or are you? I suspect as I said, I suspect I can get more money. I just can't promise it.
Well, somebody needs to, and
I don't intend to let the rest of you get yourselves killed all on your own.
And we're all in agreement then?
I believe so.
So,
and if it's more than we can handle, we will
run away.
Return with whatever information we can. But like I said, my family is more in the Crown's Guard, so we are headed to Rexentrum after this. So if we can't handle it, I will be certain to try and do what I can to get more help sent this way.
All right. Well, that at least is finding out information, and if you can't deal with it, seeing if you can get more help seems at least worth our gold. What do you think, boys? And looks around, and a bunch of them nod and come up, and they start collecting a bag of 600 gold, which is what he promised you up front. And after a few moments, and sure enough, there is a bag of 600 gold. And he offers it to you and says, I didn't want to send that one to her death by herself, and y'all look at least like you can probably get out of there if you need to. Be careful, though.
Quick.
So far, most of the folks who have vanished have been alone. But
So
we've had
don't split the party.
a small group, about 3. 2 of them got away. I told that one about it, but that's how we found out more information about why they were vanishing. So, just be careful.
We will.
Of course.
All right then.
Hey. Go play hero again.
I don't like hero.
But you're so good at it, Gil.
Yeah, we'll have to get used to it.
Page specialist.
All right. And I'm happy to RP some more, but I think it's about 12:30, so
Yeah.
getting a little late.
My limit, yeah.
So if people
Get it
want to
up.
like RP a bit more before you head up, we'll stop before we head into the mountains, into the mine.
Because that sounds like it's going to be
That's going to be its own thing.
A thing.
a thing.
A whole thing.
Me personally, I'm excited. Westcott, not
Yep.
super excited.
Basically.
That tends to be
complain the whole way.
Basically.
That tends to track for.
I feel like Guild's particular distaste for things like that just comes from living as a smuggler. The first thing you learn is don't fuck with the wildlife when you're traveling.
Fair.
Poke the
I mean,
hornet's nest.
don't
Well, the
fuck with the
wildlife's fucking with
wildlife while
them.
you're traveling is a very smart.
It's a solid rule of thumb in general.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
But yeah, you guys have picked up a bit of a mission. As a little bit of a side trip on your way to Rexentrum. Esri, at least, is very excited
I
about
mean,
it.
Westcott is like, I think if he wasn't so like, yeah, I'm totally chill with delaying our arrival in Rexentrum. Finding the silver lining in this.
It's fair.
I
Fair.
have things to do there. You assholes.
I have people who hate me
If
there.
Fleur wants to go back, she's like, I mean, go back and then leave again, and you know. But
continue her other journeys.
Yes. But like, Fleur likes seeing her family, so.
But yeah, I hope folks had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
a
really
good time.
love not that I don't with Velis, but I always really love getting into just Guild. It's just so much fun.
A very different headspace than Velis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A much less panic attack headspace.
Yeah.
But
Neat.
next time we play, you are headed into the mountains, into the mines after presumably a Bahir.
Sweet.
I mean, you are a group of 7 when everyone's here. Fairly decent level adventurers for this. It's not like it's, It's not like we're sitting
Fleur
against an
tends to
ancient dragon.
one-shot most things
This is
we've
gonna-
encountered so far, so I feel like I'm just like, I won't kill it in one shot. Yay!
Let's do it.
I'm just having flashbacks to the one shot and the T-Rex and Guild getting picked up and almost eaten. It's gonna be that again.
Fleur came in through and cut its shins out or something.
Yes, she
Yeah.
did.
And
It was
destroyed
good.
it like everything else.
It was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Fleur and Candle saved his ass.
Yeah. Whew. Okay.
Good shit.
Yeah, good shit. I will stop stream. Let me find somebody for y'all to say hi to, because we need to raid somebody. Oh, I know who to send y'all to. I have a friend who's doing
VR chat, a friend of mine from the guild. Only Link Fad. So please send him some love. Though actually, let me first, I'm just gonna hop out a call because I owe somebody a sub song.
Okay.
So yeah. See all of it.
Good night.
Night. So let me transition. So yeah, friends. First things first. Kratos, I don't know if you're still here. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, good. Yes, hi Tommy. How are you doing? I owe I miss you. Good to see you. I'm sorry, I'm still in the thing. Hello. I forgot I was still in the roll 20 just doing this. How you doing, miss you? Kratos, I don't know if you're still around, but I'm doing this for you. I will clip it for you since I know where to find you. But allow me to serenade you and sing you the song of my people. And by the song of my people, I mean the people who subbed me for the very first time. Thank you so much for the support, Mr. Betheli. So allow me to Hey Kratos, the truth. Hey Kratos, the truth is I don't need validation, but it's a nice thing to have on occasion. So thank you for that special ovation in the form of monetary donation. That's what I call a sub in this melodic narration. Hope you enjoy my set of cutesy illustrations, emotes. So please take my lyrical elation. Thank you, friend. You're fucking awesome, and I hope you find $20 on the ground. That's it. Thank you so much. Oh, so I will be back. I might stream something tomorrow, depending on what's going on in VR chat. If there's any like open Purple Lotus or something like that, I might do that. Imagine what your party sees when you get bombed to chat. Yeah, I mean, I try to at least mute myself and try not to like be completely like going. I don't want to break up the role play, you know, because like it's immersion and getting back into that role is difficult sometimes. So I try so hard not to like mess things up for when people are in the zone, you know. But yeah, y'all are fucking fabulous. This has been fun. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll be back on Monday for the All Bard D&D campaign, going Bardcore. So please send some love to Only Link Fad, new VR chat friend. Here is my raid call. Here is my raid sub call. So until next time, you all stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And I will see you next time. Bye. Later, Tommy. Thank you so much again. Bye.
I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop disorder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder, and I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder.